Hey, what's up guys? It's Yeti here. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be covering Killjoy lineups and setups for the new map called Breeze, which was introduced in episode 2, Act 3 of Valorant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's get into the lineups. Alright, so we're going to start off with A site, which is probably my less preferred site where I like to defend with Killjoy. As you see, the barrier on this part of the map is really deep, so you don't really have any aggressive lineups you can do. I do occasionally drop an alarm bot right here whenever the round starts and the zone drops. However, that can be really dangerous because the enemies will actually peek out here really fast, and they can see your alarm bot placed almost instantly because, as you see, it takes them literally like 3 steps and they can already see. So the lineups that I recommend is, you could again drop the alarm bot a little bit safer like this, and then for the turret spots, there's obviously a couple, one being right here on top of this door. We'll get to the door in a second. This lineup here will cover a decent amount of the map. It's very aggressive in terms of how far it sees and is going to give you a lot of information. It's also going to cover this angle right here coming from middle. So this is probably one of the more solid spots. You can also put your turret right here in the corner because they do need to cross onto the site in order to plant. So this turret's gonna be a little bit cheekier, but it's still gonna give you a decent amount of information, and it's still gonna tag them as soon as they're basically crossing. If you're doing this turret, make sure to not put it too far so they can't just shoot it out. I think here it's a little bit too far, but again, just put it a little bit more back. Better safe than sorry, if you know what I mean. As for your nano swarms, lately I've been trying to combine my alarm bot and nano swarms as much as possible, just because of the damage multiplication you get from your alarm bot tagging the target. They become vulnerable, so that's pretty good. Also, dropping it down here in the middle is probably pretty decent. A very tight angle, and if you see anybody there, you can tag them pretty fast. Also, earlier I was talking about this door right here. So this is a thing that's unique to Breeze. You can open and close this, and it's not destructible. If this door is closed, you can do it from both sides. You cannot shoot through it. So make sure to use this on every character, not just Killjoy, when you are either defending or attacking. All right, so this is how the A site looks with the barriers dropped. You have full access to mid. This is an angle a lot of people push. I don't think as Killjoy you should be pushing this as much, but if you do end up pushing, remember to always just peek out, drop your turret, and then peek out with it, because that's basically free tagging, which in Valorant most of the time means death. All right, let's go over to mid side of the map. So now I'm gonna explain the middle side of the map, starting from defender spawn, because that's probably the most advanced part of this map. So the barriers are here basically right as soon as you spawn, you will hit them. You're not really allowed to go out and explore the mid side of the map before the actual match timer starts. So I'm going to end the phase here, and I'm going to explain to you guys how this works. So first you have this tube right here. It's called hall, switch, whatever you want to call this. It's a pretty dangerous angle because right here is where the attackers have a rope. They can get up to the high ground. You cannot tag them while they're on the rope, and they can peek either left or right and basically see you into their spawn. Again, this is not going to be an angle that players are going to be pushing a lot, just because of how, if they're stuck in the open here, and if you see them, you can just start tagging them. You can also penetrate this wall with a medium penetration gun. So yeah, this is not going to be pushed very often. But if you're suspecting the enemy is going to push here, an alarm bot is basically going to be doing God's work, just because of the thickness of this hall right here is not nearly big enough for them to dodge your Q. So just keep that in mind. Now let's go to the other side of the mid, which is here towards B. B tunnel side. This is probably where you're going to be having one of your players holding. You can also hold here with Killjoy. Drop a turret right here. Really massive angle. Enemy will be peeking from there, down here as well, and they can also hop up here and PQ if they're using some sort of mobility characters like Raze and Jet. They can get up here to that box. So overall, a good angle for turret. Not such a good angle for your player holding, just because they can literally pop up from anywhere. B site on this map gets compared to cobblestone very often. I don't really understand why. It's not really similar, at least not to me. But I guess some people think they're alike. This is personally where I think Killjoy has a lot more setups to place, and it's just a better site for us. So the most obvious would be dropping an alarm bot right here. I think everybody can tell that that's a good way to play. You can do really deep like this if you're going to be peeking with it, or you drop your circles right there, and it's more passive and it's easier to control or to combine with your swarms. So you would drop a swarm like there, maybe even on both sides if you're like almost sure they will come here, or if you're solo anchoring. As for your turret, there's actually quite a few decent spots. The first one being right in here in this corner. It's a good spot because your turret will not get destroyed from behind. They will not really see it from anywhere up until they're like pushing side. So really strong turret spot. Another one would be on top of this right here. Let me drop on the ground to show you how this looks. You would just go like this, and oh, where's my turret? And just drop it like that. Again, this is good because this messes up crosshair placements for the enemy. They can see this turret a lot earlier. Let me drop the
time for a field test.
The barrier here so you guys see. They can see this one like pretty much as soon as they peek out here. But again, this messes up crosshair placement, and you can potentially peek out from this side here. You can even wall bang that angle, and you can get a headshot when they're destroying your turret. I think that's pretty decent. Again, you're gonna have to decide which one you prefer.
Coming back.
A really obvious spot is also over here, basically in like either this corner, which will only be covering B main, or you can put it a little bit further like this, and that way it's gonna be covering also B tunnel, which is mid players coming to this side. Yeah, you can tell that B side is really open, which is why I think that Killjoy's alarm bot loses value, but her turret gets a lot of value just because of the fact that the turret has a 180-degree angle, which it detects enemies from, right? Another really good spot is on this box, kind of in the middle. This is the one that I've been actually using a lot in unrated that I've been playing, because as you guys know, this map is not available in ranked yet. This spot does cover B main as soon as they push out. It's also really far away, so it's not that easy to destroy. It does do less damage though, but again, you're probably not playing turret for the damage. Yeah, so you peek out, it's shooting you, but you're exposed to literally that angle, a potential opper, a guy playing behind the, you know, whatever you call this on site. That's a pretty good spot. And the best part about this spot is it gives you pretty decent control of mid, right? Because enemy players might try to sneak up here and get on mid, try to flank you from behind. This turret will basically fully prevent that. I think these are the, you know, the big spots for defensive Killjoy. Now let's try to go over the map from the attacker side as well. So this is where you're going to be starting from the attacker side of things. The barriers are a little bit further out for you this time.
Legs to the spike now?
Okay, Killjoy. So yeah, you can see attackers have a little bit more space to work with, especially considering that they have so many, you know, places on this map where they can push from. The elbow, pushing into B tunnel, etc. So I don't think there's any insane spots for covering your back, especially after. If you guys have watched my other guides, a lot of them have been made before Killjoy got her area limited, right? So if I place the turret, let's say here, right? Because this would be a decent spot for holding our, you know, our back. It covers that right there, so they cannot push from attacker side snake. They can't push from here, from cannon. This is probably, universally speaking, the best turret. But the main problem with it is that as soon as I get too far away, you know, let's say we leave that turret there, but we go push B, the turret is out of range. So you're going to have to move your turret with you a lot more. You're going to just kind of have to find, you know, what kind of play style your team and the enemy team is playing, and kind of like, you know, change your spots. Anyways,
Recalling my bot.
a pretty cheeky spot I found in this map is this right here. So you don't actually have to boost yourself up. You just drop the turret here.
Placing sentry.
And this is going to be, you know, covering mid for you. Really cheeky spot. The turret is barely peeking out as well. So the enemy is probably going to take some damage from it, because they'll have to consistently tap and not spray. I also found myself pushing A quite a lot. And I did realize that there's a, you know, a really weird angle here. But I'm lucky enough to have a turret that I can drop. And it clears that angle for me, and I can just push out. So on A side, turret is really good for clearing those angles. And if you drop your turret right here, it's gonna get people that might be playing behind the pyramids as well, and, you know, land for free then. Again, on B side, I was kind of doing the same thing, clearing out this side with my turret. Some people like that, some people don't, but that's kind of my play style at the minute, and it seems to be working. Other than that, I don't really have any crazy attacker spots anymore, just because, as I said, after the Killjoys, some people call it nerfs, some people call it just readjustments. You're kind of playing on the fly more, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it made Breeze make a bit more sense to you as a Killjoy main. And have a great day, guys. I'll see you around later.